Mr. President Charles Michel, it is a pleasure for me to greet you in Chisinau. Your decision to visit our country is a clear signal of support for the citizens of the Republic of Moldova. Thank you for being next to us in these difficult times. Moldova is not alone in front of the pandemic, and this gives us hope that we shall succeed to come back to normality as soon as possible. The European Union is a true friend for our country. I am glad that you have accepted so promptly my invitation to come to Chisinau. In your visit to the Republic of Moldova comes as a result of the productive discussions we have had during my visit to Brussels in January. During that visit, we have succeeded to show our partners from European institutions that here they have a trustworthy interlocutor. This trust is the basis of our good relationship, and thanks to it, we have signed at the beginning of this week the financing agreement with the European Union on the contract of COVID-19 resilience for the Republic of Moldova. We shall undertake every effort to ensure that the 15 million euro will support those most affected by the pandemic crisis. Thanks to the trust that we have with Romania and the Czech Republic, we have benefited from these two countries of substantial quantities of medical equipment and personal protective equipment, which helps Moldovan doctors better prepared fight the virus. Team Europe is next to Moldova. Our doctors are grateful for this, as you have heard also in the discussions that we just finished. The health of the people from the Republic of Moldova is my number one priority. At this very moment, the team from the President's administration is working to bring vaccine to our country from my first day of mandate as a president. And the first 21,600 vaccine doses offered by Romania have arrived yesterday to the country, and I hope that the other 14,400 doses delivered through the COVAX facility will arrive next week. They will be directed at medical staff from the first line of fighting the pandemic. We have signs from Lithuania of being prepared to find means to help us access vaccines. We are daily discussing with the COVAX facility to make sure that the vaccines designated for our country are identified and delivered to the country as soon as possible. Mr. President Michel, you have heard today the doctors' messages. They are courageous people, dedicated people who are now running out of powers. I am obliged to make sure that the sacrifice these people make is not in vain, that we shall overcome this pandemic as soon as possible, and that will protect the lives of doctors and of all the citizens of the Republic of Moldova. This is why I'm asking for your support in assuring the vaccination needs of my country. In December 2020, you have launched the idea of signing an international treaty on pandemics within the World Health Organization that will help us prevent such sanitary catastrophes in the future together by solidarity, by mobilization, and by collective action. We support this initiative of yours, which would help us save lives, regardless of the country in which we have been born. Pandemics don't take account of borders. Only together we shall succeed in overcoming them. In this very moment, we are in a difficult political situation. The people in the Republic of Moldova have made their choices, and they ask for processes to clean the state from corruption. They demand the reform of the justice, things which are not liked by certain groups of interests who are represented in the current parliament. But I would like to assure you, Mr. President, that the changes that had been started in the society and the political class are unavoidable and are irreversible, because these changes are supported by all citizens of the Republic of Moldova. But in order to move forward faster, the reform of the justice and the fight against corruption need parliamentary support. The sooner we shall organize early parliamentary elections and confirm a government with a full parliamentary support, the better it will be for the citizens of my country. This is another priority for us. We have an ambitious agenda in our relationship with the European Union by implementing the association agreement. Right now, we are working together with the team from the government and our partners in the European Commission on an economic recovery program for the Republic of Moldova. We are grateful for the intention of the European Commission to support such a plan in the context of the planning of EU external assistance for the next multi-annual financial cycle. And I am glad that today I had the opportunity to discuss within the meeting with Mr. Werner Hoyer, the President of the European Investment Bank. The EIB supports investment projects in the Republic of Moldova in very important areas for our citizens, such as drinking water, transportation, agriculture, energy efficiency, SME development. We thank you for this support, and we count in the future on our cooperation and the support and the cooperation with the EIB for the implementation of the economic recovery plan of the Republic of Moldova. My country also benefits a lot from programs within the Eastern Partnership. We would like to continue coming closer to the European family also through this initiative, which is a success of the European Union. And I'm confident that the priorities developed by the European Commission for the next years will help us pass together more easier over the challenges that we are facing domestically, but also use more efficiently the opportunities which the future has in store for us and which are offered to us by our European aspirations. We are European people with European vocation and European future, but we are aware that this future, we can create this future for ourselves. Only we can do that through the things that we do at home, by fighting against corruption, through continuous work for modernizing the country, and by defending the democratic values. So spring is the season of renewal and hope, and here in Moldova we have a beautiful tradition of marking this change. It's called Marțișor. Marțișor, we're wearing this little sign on our chest during the whole month of March. Please accept, Mr. President, the symbol of changes towards better, and accept this as a sign of friendship and appreciation from the citizens of the Republic of Moldova for everything that the EU institutions do for us. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Madam President, I would like to thank you for your invitation to Moldova so soon after your visit in Brussels in January, and it's for me a big pleasure to be here. This is a short first visit, but in my opinion, an important one. And I send a clear message of EU support to President Sandu's strong focus on reforms, strengthening the rule of law, and tackling corruption. First, the European Union is the reliable partner for Moldova. We are the biggest trading partner and market for Moldovan exports, and during the last 10 years, we provided over 1 billion euros in grants, and more than 1,000 projects have been implemented in the entire country. And the European Investment Bank offers financing for important projects in the energy sector, in the transport sector, for SMEs. I am pleased that Werner Hoyer is here with us today. I also reiterated the EU's unwavering solidarity to help Moldova fight the COVID crisis and deal with its socio-economic impact. We have mobilized 108 million euros to deliver protective equipment to strengthen the healthcare system and to support socio-economic recovery. Moldova has already benefited from 50 million euros of EU emergency macrofinancial assistance, and another 50 million will come as the second tranche. We are now focused on speeding up vaccinations. Yesterday, the first vaccines arrived from Romania with the support of the EU. Moldova also benefits from vaccine distribution under the COVAX facility, which Team Europe has strongly supported. We expect more vaccines to arrive in the next few days. Our partners' preparedness to distribute vaccines is also key. To boost this, we are stepping up our support for the deployment of vaccines with the WHO programs. And indeed, I have just met with medical workers who are in the front lines of the fight against the pandemic, and I felt touched by their messages and their experiences. This brings me to my second point. Our strong support goes hand in hand with the implementation of reforms. Madam President, your election reflected people's expectation for a better life, without corruption and based on the rule of law and democratic norms. And it has opened a window of opportunity for enhanced EU-Moldova relations. But how wide this window will open depends on the political will of our Moldovan partners. We are committed to strengthening Moldova's political association and economic integration. And, as you know, our support is linked to strict conditionality on the rule of law and democratic standards. Your efforts, your personal efforts, to address the lack of independence of the judiciary and prosecution, and to move forward on investigating banking frauds and fighting corruption are crucial to avoid a spiral of stagnation. And that's why those who have been implicated in activities outside of the rule of law should have no say in Moldova's future. We also discussed the prospects for early elections as the best chance to deliver a parliament ready to support the president's reforms. We expect all political actors to act in the best interests of the people of Moldova. Madam President, Europe is on your side. Prosperity, stability and freedoms, this is our common goal, and we are ready to strengthen our partnership. You can count on us.
Thank you very much.
Question to our guest, Liliana Barbaroshi, Free Europe Radio. I would like to ask you, you have spoken about reforms, fight against corruption, things which so far obviously cannot start, and the President Maia Sandu says that early parliamentary elections need to be organized now. In Moldova, very few people these elections can happen, in particular that after the largest parliamentary party changed its mind and they don't want elections anymore. Can you tell us, how do you imagine our future cooperation in a long-lasting crisis, in particular if this political uncertainty in Chisinau will last longer? How do you envisage the cooperation with authorities in Chisinau?
First of all, I had the opportunity in January to discuss in depth the political situation in Moldova with the President when she came to Brussels. And we had again the opportunity today to discuss the political situation. Our message is very clear. We are convinced that we need to implement reforms in order to fight against corruption. I repeat that we consider that this very ambitious agenda supported by the President is the right direction in order to strengthen the ties with the European Union. But at the same time, we are observing the political situation. We will see what will be the next steps. But in any case, we really hope that it will be possible to implement the reforms that are needed.
I have a question to Ms. Sandu. Ms. Sandu, when you went to the TV program in Profunzime, you said that the authorities of the Republic of Moldova would not accept a vaccine which had not been authorized by the WHO. How would you comment that this vaccine had been registered in the Republic of Moldova, such vaccine? Well, first of all, I would like to reiterate what I said earlier. Our number one priority is to save lives and keep the health, maintain the health of the citizens. And the worst risk for the people's lives today is COVID. What we need to do in the first place is to secure vaccines for the country. These are two things, very important things: to have vaccines for as many people as possible, the soonest possible, and secondly, make sure that the vaccine is of quality. The vaccine is safe. And when I spoke about these things, about the WHO authorization, I started with a previous decision of the Extraordinary Public Health Committee, and you can check the text of the decision, which said that the vaccine in Moldova will be registered starting from the vaccines registered by the WHO, the European Agency, and other international institutions. In the meantime, I have seen the decision of the responsible institution in the Republic of Moldova, the Medicine Agency, which registered the Russian vaccine. It is the competence of the agency. The presidency does not have competence to register vaccines. It is the competence of this agency. And therefore, respectively, the access is the most important thing. I would be glad to have soon sufficient vaccine of several types so that citizens can choose. The most important thing is access to vaccines. A clarification: how would you see that the registration of this vaccine has been announced by Igor Dodon, who's a simple leader of our party? Well, that's a different topic. I don't think we want to deal with this. The vaccine had been registered by an institution of the state. Diana Ivanov, Publica TV. My question is to Ms. Michel. We would like to know what you think and how do you see at the European Union level the political situation in the Republic of Moldova. Since December, we have an acting government, and we cannot appoint a government fully formed.
No, I repeat that we follow closely the situation, and we hope it will be possible to have a stable majority, a stable parliament, the possibility to implement the reforms that are needed, not only for the EU, this is not the topic, but because the conditions of life of the people in Moldova is related to the possibility to implement the reforms. If we want more prosperity, if we want more investments, it's fundamental to make sure that we fight against corruption. It's fundamental to make sure that the rule of law is an important goal. This is the priority. You know, in Europe we have three important priorities. First, the democratic values. For us it's important the guarantee that the fundamental freedoms are respected for each citizen. Second, the prosperity, and we face a big crisis. COVID-19 is a huge sanitary crisis, and it means that it will be also important to make sure that we can invest in the infrastructures. It's important everywhere. It's also important in Moldova. Transport, energy sector, the support for the SMEs. And third, we want a stable, a predictable political situation in order to improve the fundamental and the structural relationships between the Eastern Partnership in general, which is important for Europe, and especially the bilateral relationship with Moldova. And you know that Moldova is one country with Ukraine and with Georgia, which have an association agreement with the EU, which is a higher level of cooperation in comparison with the other countries, members of the Eastern Partnerships.
Ms. President Sandu, Mr. President Michel, these were all the questions. Thank you, and thank you to the colleagues for your presence.